1001 Nights, also known as Arabian Nights, is one of the most famous collections of folk tales in world literature. Compiled over many centuries from stories originating in the Middle East, Persia, India, and the Arab world, it is framed by the story of Scheherazade, a clever young woman who marries King Shahryar. To avoid execution, she tells the king a fascinating story each night but leaves it unfinished at dawn, encouraging him to spare her life so he can hear the ending. She continues this for 1001 nights, gradually transforming the king's character through the power of storytelling. The collection contains a rich variety of adventures, romances, mysteries, moral tales, and magical stories. Some of its most famous tales include Aladdin, Ali Baba, and Sinbad the Sailor. Filled with genies, enchanted objects, distant lands, and unforgettable characters, 1001 Nights has influenced literature, theater, film, and popular culture around the world for centuries. Its enduring appeal lies in its celebration of imagination, wisdom, courage, and the transformative power of stories. Now, let's begin episode 1. Shahryar was a powerful king who ruled a vast kingdom. He had a younger brother named Shah Zaman, who ruled a neighboring land. One day, Shah Zaman discovered that his wife had been unfaithful to him. Devastated and enraged, he later visited Shahryar and found that Shahryar's own queen was also secretly meeting lovers while the king was away. The two brothers became convinced that women were inherently unfaithful. Shahryar, deeply wounded by the betrayal, executed his queen and her lovers. His grief and anger gradually turned into cruelty and paranoia. Believing that no woman could be trusted, Shahryar made a horrifying decision. Every day, he would marry a new virgin, spend the night with her, and then have her executed the next morning before she could betray him. This practice continued for years, causing fear and despair throughout the kingdom. Families hid their daughters, and many innocent women lost their lives. The daughter of the king's vizier, Scheherazade, decided to stop the slaughter. She was highly educated, wise, and well-read. Despite her father's objections, she volunteered to marry Shahryar. On their wedding night, Scheherazade began telling the king a fascinating story. As dawn approached, she deliberately stopped at the most suspenseful moment. Curious to hear the ending, Shahryar postponed her execution for one day. The next night, she finished the story, but immediately began another, again ending at a cliffhanger. Night after night, the cycle continued. As Shahryar listened to her stories, he gradually changed. The stories taught him compassion, justice, wisdom, and the complexity of human nature. Over time, his hatred and distrust faded. In these series of videos, we narrate you her tales. The story of the merchant and the Jinni. Long ago, a wealthy merchant set out on a business trip. After traveling for many days beneath the scorching sun, he stopped to rest under a tree. He ate some dates from his bag and casually threw the pits onto the ground. No sooner had he finished than the earth trembled and a terrifying Jinni appeared before him. The giant spirit carried a sword and looked furious. "Stand up," the Jinni thundered. "You have killed my son, and I will kill you in return." The merchant was horrified. He had seen no one nearby and could not understand the accusation. "How have I killed your son?" he asked. The Jinni explained that one of the date pits he had thrown had struck the Jinni's invisible son and killed him instantly. The merchant pleaded for mercy, insisting that he had not intended any harm. But the Jinni was unmoved and demanded his life. The merchant then begged for one favor. He asked to return home for 1 year to settle his debts, distribute his property, and say farewell to his family. He promised to return at the appointed time and surrender himself. Surprisingly, the Jinni agreed. Bound by his word, the merchant returned home. A year later, despite knowing that death awaited him, the honest merchant kept his promise. He returned to the same tree and sat waiting for the Jinni. As he waited, an old man leading a beautiful gazelle approached. Hearing the merchant's sad story, the old man decided to remain and witness what would happen. Soon another old man arrived with 2 black dogs, followed by a third old man carrying a mule. They too stayed to watch. Then the Jinni appeared once more, sword in hand, ready to carry out the execution. The first old man addressed the Jinni. "If I tell you a story more astonishing than this merchant's misfortune, will you grant him 1/3 of his life?" The Jinni agreed. The old man then told how the gazelle beside him had once been his wife. Out of jealousy, she used magic to transform his son into a calf and nearly destroyed his family. Through a series of magical events, the spell was broken and the wicked wife was transformed into the gazelle standing beside him. The Jinni was amazed by the tale and granted 1/3 of the merchant's pardon. The second old man then offered his own story in exchange for another third of the merchant's life. He explained that the 2 black dogs were actually his brothers. They had betrayed him repeatedly despite his generosity, eventually causing him great suffering. As punishment for their treachery, they had been transformed into dogs through magic. The Jinni found the story extraordinary and forgave another third of the merchant's sentence. Finally, the third old man told the strange story of the mule beside him, who had once been his wife. Through deception and sorcery, she had brought misery upon him until she herself was transformed into a mule. The Jinni was once again astonished. Having heard 3 remarkable tales, the Jinni declared, "These stories are so marvelous that I forgive the merchant entirely." The merchant's life was spared, and the Jinni vanished. The 3 old men went their separate ways, while the grateful merchant returned safely to his family. When Scheherazade finished her story, King Shahryar thought, "She says beautiful stories. I will not kill her tomorrow. I like to hear her next story tomorrow night." Thank you for watching.